Coach pretty much covered good majority of the things I wanted to say. I did search around and look and see if there was a better place for me somewhere. I talked to some schools. Ultimately, I know what I have here, and so I love Penn State. I love the relationships I have here, and I love playing football with my best friends. And so ultimately, after looking around, I found out this is still the best place for me, and this is what I want to do moving forward.
In the recruiting process, sorry, Chris. In the recruiting process, you often hear guys say they came to the aha moment when they realized the school was for them. In this instance, was it an aha moment to stay, or did you just never get far enough in the process to say, okay, I'm really seriously considering another school?
Good question, actually. I guess I know exactly what you mean by the aha moment. When I first took my first trip up here, it was like, wow, this place is incredible. After spending, this will be my third January, I believe. Yeah, third January. My feelings haven't changed. It's still an amazing place, amazing campus, and a second to none football program and everything else involved. So I can't say enough great things about Penn State. I love it here, and it was an easy decision to come back.
Tommy, when did you reach that decision, and who gave you the best advice throughout the whole process?
It was around last week. It was around last week when I finally decided, hey, this is what I want to do. As far as the advice part, my parents were very supportive of me. Tried not to influence me one way or another. Just told me to figure it out myself. They're there for me to lean on, and they were. But they wanted it to be my decision. They didn't want to have any kind of say in whether I go one place or another. So they're proud. They're happy that I'm staying, and they would have supported me either way.
How did you break the news to your teammates, and what was maybe the most interesting reaction you got from those guys?
I told them today because I knew that I would be meeting with you guys and saying what I'm saying now. I knew I would be meeting with you guys, so I wanted them to hear it from me first. Of course, I live with guys on the team, so I told them, hey, this is what I'm going to do. And so, I guess there wasn't one reaction that stood out. Obviously, people were pretty happy that I was sticking around. So, yeah.
Tommy, when it comes to the decision, how much of wanting to transfer, wanting to play was a present thought, and how much was it a future thought, maybe your future in football after college?
Mm-hmm. I was 100% with 100% what I wanted to do moving forward, I guess, and looking out for my future. I wanted to put myself in the best situation possible moving forward. I looked around. I looked and see because I had the opportunity to graduate in this semester. Had the opportunity to go somewhere else and see if there was a better situation for me. I looked around, there wasn't. So,
What kind of conversations that have you had with Coach Ronnie? Coach Moorhead found a lot of different ways to get you involved. Do you expect Coach Ronnie to do the same, maybe a little bit more? What kind of conversation have you had with him?
Yeah, we stayed. They were very supportive of it in the very beginning. I told them what I was doing. They were very upfront with me, told me that they were going to support me either way, and they wanted the best situation for me. So, I told them from the beginning what I wanted to do. They told me, hey, here's what we're going to do, if you do decide to stay. And I do expect, I guess, an increased role next season.
What was the toughest part of the process?
Toughest part was probably, it's hard. Sorry, that's a good question. I guess the hardest part would have been, you have, hey, you can go leave and possibly start somewhere 2 years. Maybe not be best for your future, but you have that opportunity. Or you stay here, keep working, getting better, and be patient. And so that was probably the hardest part. And there's people that talk in one ear, people talk in the other ear. But like I said, ultimately this is the best place for me, and I'm happy about my decision.
What's the spring been like for you? Obviously, watching James said you're getting a lot of mental reps.
Mm-hmm.
How's that been for you?
Good. It's good. I need it. I think that's where I need to grow the most, is mentally still. Taking big strides since I've gotten here. So, I guess actually stepping away and being able to see it from a different perspective. It's different, but it's challenging me in a different way that I wouldn't have.
Tommy, how do you handle the dynamics in the quarterback room? Obviously, if you were to leave, that changes everything for a guy like Clifford. How did those conversations you had with your teammates along the way, were they prodding you for answers, or were they patient with you?
Very patient, very patient. Ultimately, we're friends outside of the football building. So they just wanted me to do what was best for me. And those guys were very supportive of me. They didn't try to get answers from me or anything like that. They just they took it day by day with me, and they were very supportive of my decision.
Has the lion position been defined yet?
Not that I know of, unless somebody said differently. I was talking to Bruce Feldman, and I told him what we were going to do, and he asked me a similar question, and I think what I told him was it's a guy, I guess, that doesn't necessarily have to be me, but a guy that can play different positions and be versatile, I guess, and that's kind of what I was taught growing up. My dad, my uncles, they both. Or all three rather, were very, I don't know what the word I'm looking for. They maybe play different positions. I played running back growing up, played receiver growing up, played safety, outside linebacker, corner. I mean, I played all these different positions. And it was just because, he always told me you never know when you're going to get your opportunities, and, what better way to be prepared for your opportunities if you can do, a lot of different things. So it's taught to me at a very early age, and I think that's, I guess, applicable.
How does it feel? Like, is this kind of a weight off your shoulders moment now that the decision is made?
Mm-hmm.
How you feel about all of it?
It was like a second recruiting process, and it was worse than the first. It was a little bit harder just because of the timetable. I'm glad it's over. I'm glad that I can stop being a distraction to my teammates, because as much as I tried not to be, and tried not to, I guess, have an impact on what's going on, like the news and stuff. It's not really what I wanted, but I'm glad. I guess we can just focus on football now and get back to work and start grinding for next season.
Why was it
In high
worse?
school, you decided to head to one school, and you ended up changing your mind and ending up here. Did you take anything from that experience and kind of the inner dialogue you had, leaving Indiana, all that, and apply that to anything to here as far as things you learned during your recruitment process?
Yeah. So when I did commit to Indiana, I didn't have an offer from Penn State. So when Penn State offered me, it ultimately I thought was a better situation for me. So I guess very similar. I was looking to see if there was a better situation out there for me, and I didn't find one. So I guess you could say that there's similarity between the two, but this is still the best place for me.
What made this process worse? Because I know fans keep asking about you. I'm sure you've heard probably a lot of it on social media. Why was this worse than your recruitment?
I felt I had a lot of unneeded attention,
Okay.
and I felt like I was creating a distraction a little bit from my teammates and what we were doing. And so I didn't want, as much as I didn't want it, it was still happening. And so I kind of felt, I guess, not really guilty in a way, but like I said, I didn't want to be a distraction for the guys here. But I had to do what was best for me and look and try to find if there was a better place. And like I keep saying, there wasn't. This is the best place.
Tommy, you talked last year about how you had to learn to become patient. Did that trait serve you well during this process so you could make a decision that you were comfortable with?
I think it definitely helped. I think it definitely helped. Being, like I said, the being patient thing, it's difficult. It's not something I had to do before. And so it's going to help me in the long run, help me in life, especially when things don't go my way. So I think so.
Have you told Saquon? I know you guys are close.
Yeah, I told him. I don't remember exactly when. I told him not too long ago. So he
What was
knows.
his reaction?
He was happy. He's happy for me. Just like, I haven't really. There wasn't ever a a bad reaction from it. Everybody was very supportive. There's nobody who was like, oh, dude, why didn't you leave? There was none of that. So everybody was very, very supportive of me and what I thought was right, and they were there to pat me on the back.
How about your non-football classmates across campus? Were you getting sales pitches?
Every day.
Yeah. What was that like? Must have been interesting.
Man, wherever I went, if I was on campus eating, if I was walking to class, if I was, I don't know, doing whatever, there was always somebody there to be like, hey, what are you doing? Like, you leaving? You staying? And it wasn't just that. People were there like, hey, hope you do the best. There was one guy I was out to eat with my girlfriend, and he walked up, and we were sitting in front of him, and I guess he kind of recognized me from behind, and I don't know, I was sitting in a chair, and he's like, oh yeah, what are you doing? And I was like, yeah, I don't know, just trying to play it off, but it just shows how supportive this fan base is, and it's an incredible place, and I couldn't be happier to be here.